miss the entries or information in GSTR 1 every month, there is no need to worry. GSTR 1 is the solution provided by the GST department. According to the new update, GSTR 1A is the option to amend GSTR 1 after filing B2B invoices. Hello everyone, I am Parminder Kaur from Team Web10. In this video, I will provide a detailed discussions and overview of GSTR 1A. I will cover topics such as how to amend GSTR 1 after filing, what is GSTR 1A, and due date of filing GSTR 1A. So stay tuned, and before starting this video, please subscribe to our YouTube channel Web10 Electrosoft for regular compliance updates. Recently, CBIC released notification number 12 by 2024 dated 10 July 2024, which added a provision to Rule 59.1, reintroducing a new form GSTR 1A. Additionally, CGST Rule 59.4a specifies the detail required in GSTR 1A. If a taxpayer need to amend any supplier record provided in GSTR 1 or add a supplier record for the same period, they can do so through GSTR 1A in the same month after filing GSTR 1 and before filing GSTR 3B. The open period of filing GSTR 1A start after GSTR 1 is filed of the same month by the 11th of the following month. The due date for filing GSTR 1A is the 11th of the following month or later depending on what date of filing of GSTR 3B. To understand the concept of the GSTR 1A, let's take an example. Now Ruhi is a cloth dealer and she sells the fabric. On 29th August 2024, Ruhi sold the goods, that is cotton fabric, which was amounting of 65,000 including the GST of 12%. But there was a clerical mistake that instead of mentioning the 65,000 amount, the invoices was generated of 65,500 by mistake. And in GSTR 1 sale detail, she has mentioned the amount of 65,500 instead of 65,000. She uploaded the GSTR 1 on 9 September 2024 with the amount of 65,500. Now this detail has been uploaded on the GSTR 1. So she has sold the goods to Anubhav Boutique, in which to be it will reflect as 65,500. So now what she can do? The Ruhi will upload the GSTR 1A in which she will amend the invoice from 65,500 to 65,000. Now in the 2B of Anubhav Boutique, get updated for the change including Miss Ruhi clothes in the GSTR 3B also. To understand the basic concept of the GSTR 1A, let's go through some of the FAQ, that is frequently asked questions. First is whether GSTR 1A is optional. GSTR 1A is optional if the following scenario is there. First is if any new record which taxpayer missed out while filing in the form GSTR 1. Second is to amend the records which were already reported in the same period in the form of GSTR 1. When GSTR 1A will be available for filing. GSTR 1A will be open for the monthly filer from the later of the following 2 dates till the actual filing of the GSTR 3B of the same tax period. Due date of filing of GSTR 1, that is 11th of the following month, or date of actual filing of GSTR 1. In another scenario, GSTR 1A will be open for the quarterly filer from the later of the following 2 dates till the filing of GSTR 3B of the same tax period, that is quarterly. Due date of filing of GSTR 1, that is 13th of the month following the end of the quarter. Second, date of actual filing of GSTR 1, that is quarterly. Can I file form GSTR 1A after filing form GSTR 3B? No, a taxpayer cannot file 1A once 3B is filed for the same tax period. However, the functionality of amending records reported in the previous filed GSTR 1 is subsequent GSTR 1 will be continuous as it is. Can I amend the record reported in the earlier GSTR 1 in the current GSTR 1A? No, GSTR 1A allowed to amend the record filed in GSTR 1 of the current tax period only. The record reported in the earlier GSTR 1 can be amended in any subsequent GSTR 1 subject to the time. Can I add the detail of debit note, credit note in the form GSTR 1A? Yes. A debit note, credit note can be added in the corresponding table of GSTR 1A. Can the filer of GSTR 1A be amended again if the GSTR 3B is not filed? GSTR 1A can be filed only once for the particular tax period even if GSTR 3B is not filed. Can I file form GSTR 3B if I save some records in the form GSTR 1A but did not file the form GSTR 1A? In case a taxpayer saved any record in the form GSTR 1A but did not file the same record filing the GSTR 3B, then he would face error at the time of filing of the GSTR 3B. System will not allow to file GSTR 3B. Therefore, he would require to either delete the saved record in the GSTR 1A or reset form GSTR 1A or file GSTR 1A before filing GSTR 3B. Now, what components or detail we have to fill in the GSTR 1A form? In the table 1 to 3, general information will go. That is the GSTN number, name of the taxpayer detail is required to mention in 1 and 3. In the 4th table, the taxable outward supply made to registered person including the UN holder other than the supplier covered by the table number 6. So this heading will include changes made to the normal sale invoices that is not covering under the RCM and changes made to the sale invoices attracting RCM. In the table number 5, taxable outward interstate supply to unregistered person where the invoice value is more than 1 lakh. This heading will contain outward interstate supply to the unregistered person including the sale made through an e-commerce operator rate wise. Table number 6 will include the zero rated supply and deemed supply. That means whatever the changes related to the export, SEZ, unit or supply related to the deemed export needed to mention in this table. In table number 7, the taxable supply, that is net of the debit note and credit note to unregistered person other than the supplier covered in the table number 5. In this table, the intrastate supply which need to be reported consolidated and rate wise, including the supply made through e-commerce operator that attracts the TCS, that is tax collection at the sources, and interstate supply where the invoice value is up to 1 lakh consolidated rate wise, that is including supply made through e-commerce operator including the TCS. In table number 8, the nil rated, exempted and non-GST outward supply need to be mentioned. That is interstate supply to registered and unregistered person and intrastate supply to registered and unregistered person. In table number 9, amendment to taxable outward supply detail furnished in the form GSTR 1 for the current tax period in the table 4, 5, 6 including debit note and credit note issued during current period and the amendment therefore. So in this heading, we will include the amendment of the invoices detail for furnished and debit note, credit note, original and amendment detail can be added. In table number 10, amendment to the taxable outward supply to unregistered person furnished in the form GSTR 1 for the current tax period, that is in the table number 7. So in this heading, we will enter the intrastate supply, that is including supply made through an e-commerce operator, and interstate supply including the supply made through the e-commerce operator according to the rate wise we have to mention in this table. In table number 11, consolidated statement of the advance received, advance adjusted in the current tax period, amendment of the information furnished in the current tax period, net of refund vouchers if any. So in this table we will include the advance amount received in the tax period for which invoices have not been issued. The same will need to be bifurcated into the inter and intrastate supply and reported rate wise. Advance amount received in an earlier tax period and adjusted against the supply being shown in this tax period in the table number 4, 5, 6, 7, and the same will be needed to be bifurcated into the intra and intrastate supply and reported rate wise. Moreover, the information furnished in the table number 11 by 1 in the GSTR 1 statement for the current tax period, that is revised information if any is there. In the table number 12, HSN wise summary of the outward supply. So this table will contain the changes you have made it in the invoices. So those HSN summary of outward supply furnished in the GSTR 1 of the same tax period need to be mentioned. In table number 13, document issued during the tax period. So this table will contain the changes made to the document issued during the same tax period, such as invoices, revised invoices, debit and credit note, refund and payment and vouchers, etc. to be mentioned. In table number 14, details of the supply made through e-commerce operator on which e-commerce operator are liable to collect tax under the section 52 of the Act or liable to pay tax under the section 9(5) that supplier to be reported. In this heading, we will include the supply on which the e-commerce operator is liable to collect and the supplier on which e-commerce operator is liable to pay the tax. So both detail is going to come under the table number 14. In table number 14A, that is amendment to the detail of the supplies made through e-commerce operator on which e-commerce operator are liable to collect tax under the section 52 of the Act or liable to pay tax under the section 9(5) supplier to the report. So in this heading, we will include the detail of the supplier on which e-commerce operator is liable to collect the tax and detail of the supplier on which e-commerce operator is liable to pay the tax is required to enter in this table. In table number 15, detail of the supply made through e-commerce operator on which the e-commerce operator is liable to pay the tax under the section 9(5). E-commerce operator to the reporter. Now in this heading, we will capture changes made to the supplier made through e-commerce operator and is required to bifurcate it based on the type of the supplier, registered or unregistered. So it is bifurcated into two further tables, that is 15A1 and 15A2. 15A1 means amendment to the detail of the supplies made through e-commerce operator on which e-commerce operator is liable to pay the tax under the section 9(5), e-commerce operator to the reporter for registered receipt, and in the case of 15A2 is for the unregistered receipt. So this heading will capture any amendment made to the detail of the supplier on which e-commerce operator is liable to collect tax under the section 52 and it is reported for registered and unregistered recipient. I hope you have understood that taxpayer use GSTR 1A to confidently correct or amend the detail of their outward supply, that is sale, reported in GSTR 1. It serves as a reliable tool for rectifying mistake or omission identified in the original GSTR 1 file. For better comprehension, check out the blog link in the video description box and share it with your friends and colleagues. If you found this video helpful, let us know in the comment section. Also, you can comment if you have any doubts, give a thumbs up and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Next Tuesday, we will come up with another interesting video. Till then, stay safe and stay tuned with us for better compliance and enterprise journey.